there isn't one model of Islamic psychology. In fact, the scholars, we have in Tasawwuf, the various different turuq and Sufi orders. They all have various different methodologies, nuances, and some slight differences between them. And so TIIP is one model among many other models that may develop in the future. But what you need to do is to ensure that they follow some very core Islamic principles when working on this model of Islamic psychology. Principle 1, and these are the 9 principles that I'm going to talk about to ensure that your Islamic psychology that you do or work on is grounded in some of these principles. As they say, it's a famous saying in the Ottoman tradition, in Ottoman Turkish, usulsuz vusul olmaz, right? And if you translate that to the Arabic, la yumkinu al-wusul illa bil-usul, that you cannot reach any objective or destination that's valuable or worth reaching, i.e. Allah or higher order principles, unless, higher meaning, unless you have some principles. And so here are the principles. Principle number 1, Islamic psychology must be situated within Islamic epistemology. So we talk about Islamic epistemology a lot, and people talk about epistemology, but they may not necessarily know what those are. And so the mutakallimin, the Islamic discursive theologians, have outlined them for us. In fact, this is the very first and early discussions that you will see amongst the mutakallimin in the kalam literature, meaning that literature that deals with the science of Islamic creed. What are the 3 things that they say are admissible sources of understanding reality, i.e. fact, right? In science, in the hard sciences, in order for something to be true or considered to be an objective fact, it needs to be run through the hard empirical method, right? The scientific method. And that is that it needs to be observable and falsifiable according to the scientific method. And so that's it, right? They may confine it, hard sciences confine it to that. And if I had more time another day, I would talk to you about the epistemology of psychology. It is a soft science, but I won't get into how you qualify a soft versus a hard science. But needless to say that at some level, our Islamic scholars also accept the empirical knowledge, meaning knowledge that comes through us through the 5 senses, that is definitive and unable to be questioned, meaning that it's factual, if it's definitive, right? If it's something that is observed and agreed upon by human beings, then it would be considered an objective fact. Other things like rational knowledge, that's the other source of knowledge. For example, 2 and 2 make 4, or rules of mathematics, or any whole object is greater than any one of its parts. For example, these are intuitive truths, or we have deductive logical reasoning. For example, the rules of logic.